Good morning. Welcome to TEL Staffing and HR's tutorial on how to onboard an employee. What you're going to do is go to our website at telstaffing.com. From there, choose Member Login and then Thinkware 2019 forward. Once you get to the Thinkware page, you will enter your username and password that you have been pre-assigned. And once that is entered in, you will simply hit Login. For most companies in this box, your company information will appear. However, if you have multiple states and multiple locations, you may have to hit the drop down. So choose the right company or segment, and boom, you are now into the onboarding step 1. Now, this is also the same place you go to approve invoices, review your last invoice, but we'll cover that in other tutorials. Today, we're just going to focus on onboarding. So scroll down, click Employees, Onboarding, and then Add New Employee. Once you're here, again, depending on the size of your organization, you will have either a division, one division, or you may have a list of 20, 100. It just depends on the size of your org. So choose the division that's proper for you. Now this right here, because we're doing a demo, I'm having both options for ASO or PEO. Based on the model of what your company's needs are, that will be pre-populated. Once you get to employee class, you will set that, and the codes that you already have agreed with your account manager and workers' comp to use, those will be pre-populated. So we're just going to put an accounting clerk in there. You work in Florida, but again, if it was a multi-location, it allows you to choose a different state if needed. The department, this one's accounting or general, but once again, you could have 30 different departments. It just depends on how your organization is set up. The position is pre-populated based on the employee class above, but if there's ever some kind of special exception, you can scroll through. The role ID, that again is going to be employee read-only access. That means they're not going to have managerial rights. If for some reason you needed someone with managerial rights, that's also another tutorial video on how to request client access authorization. So this employee is going to be full-time, part-time, intern, whatever it's going to be. And the pay period should again default to what you do, weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly. So we're just going to keep it there. Hit continue. And then once you continue to the next page, this is where you're going to put in the legal information for your employee. So I'm going to use myself as a sample, David Pasqualone. My date of birth, this will be a fake date because you don't need to know my real date. And the social security number is going to be super, super fake because, again, you don't need to know my social security number. And my email address, and if I learned to type, this would be much better for you. Login code will be, this is the number that your employee will use when they receive their email. It will say to log in with their legal name, their birth date, their social security number, and then for one extra security measure, there's a login code. So this will be emailed to the client when we hit continue and finalize this operation, and it'll go to this email address. So just confirm that all information on this page is correct and hit continue. Now, once we're in here, it is saying that these red fields are mandatory and the rest are optional. At the end of the process, either you or the employee will fill in all the rest of the information, but these red fields are necessary. One red field that is necessary that in this demo it's not highlighting is a street address. So we're going to go ahead and put that in so we don't have an error down the road. When you see this, it'll already be highlighted red. So 123 Sesame Street. And we'll do Pensacola. Man, again, if I could only type. Hope you're having a great day today, listener. And this will not be super boring and painful. All right, so start date is going to be the date that the employee is going to physically go to work. So the start date, let's just say, is 12. Okay. Today, though, is the day you interviewed them and hired them. So the start date is the day they're going to start working, and the original hire date is when you brought them on the books, so to speak. So you can scroll through, and again, you can fill these out. You can let them fill them out. It'll all populate in the end. Click continue. And then additional information. Again, we can go through all of this, or we can skip it. The more work you do, the less they have to. The less work you do, the more work they have to. So really, it's your discretion at how detailed you want to get on these pages. Now, if for some reason your system hangs up like this is, do not worry. Try clicking update again, and it should pull through. If for some reason it doesn't, you can even hard refresh up here in the top left, and the system saves every step of the way, so you shouldn't lose data even if it fully locked up on you. But every once in a while, the internet gets congested, and we have a collision like that. Now, it says, would you like to add another pay code? So for this, just hit edit existing, because this is the first time you've set them up. So when you scroll down, you see their regular PTO, and they have a pay rate of 0. So what we want to do is we want to click on the pencil. That's your edit. And when you come in here, you're going to put the pay rate, what they're going to make per hour. Let's say this employee is going to make $13.50 an hour. They get paid weekly. And again, there's information you can fill out, but most of the time this is left blank, and you'll work that out with your payroll processor, and they'll take care of everything for you. Hit continue, and it will update. And as we said on the last page, sometimes it takes a little bit, sometimes it gets hung up in the system. So if it ever feels like, okay, it's been a few seconds and it's hung up, just click update again. And you'll see over here there's actually a hard refresh to the tab, and that usually works. Now, if an employee had multiple jobs at your organization where, they might be landscaping half the week and they're doing tree service the other half, or you have a position that's going to actually work with clients 30 hours a week, and then 10 hours a week they're teaching. Those might be different codes. So if they had another pay code, you'd hit yes. If not, you just hit no. Would you like to add training? Adding training is if you have requirements for before someone starts, they must complete sexual harassment training, workers' compensation training, how to run a forklift training. So if you have training, you just hit yes, and then you select the training to have. And again, in this demo, we only have forklift training loaded, but you could have literally 120 different trainings. And once it's done, would you like to add another? Yes. Would you like to edit, or would you like to say no? So for the sake of this, I just want to show you quickly. If you edited the training, you can say the status of the employee, and there'll be a drop down of your custom menus. And then a renewal date, what that means is we want this to be once a year. We want this to be every 6 months. So you can have a lot of flexibility in this training schedule. And once this is set up initially, it's on autopilot for you. Okay, now we're at the I-9. The I-9 is where you type in your name. So I am David Pasqualone. So I'm going to type in Pasqualone, my first name, David. My employer title is, let's just say I'm the owner. And resident status is blanked out, okay? Now, this is me. Now, my employee, I'm going to verify with either the list A from the I-9 form or list B and C. Typically, list A is your passport only needed. B and C would be social security card and driver's license. So let's just say for time's sake, list A. So you're going to come in here and say U.S. passport. You're going to put the document title, issuing authority, document number. I'm obviously making this up. When does their stuff expire? Oops, my bad. And then If they have Doc2 type from list A, you can enter that here. But if not, you just go to the bottom and hit submit. Now, when you come here, after you hit submit, it's going to give you a PDF form of the I-9 with all the information you just filled out. And it's going to have highlighted where that's where you'd physically sign if it was paper. And then when you scroll down, you can see all the employee information that you typed in and all your information. So this is the legal document that you'd normally hand sign. Because everything's automated in this system, you actually click Sign Document. You're going to re-enter your username and password for security purposes, again, just to verify it's you. And once you verify it's you, you can have a electric signing. So verify and sign. Congratulations, the document's complete. Now that onboarding is complete, it's going to bring you to a document review page. The document review page will say, this is what's not available. You don't need to worry about it. This process hasn't started, and this process has been completed. So there's going to be a lot of documents and a task review section. For your, don't feel overwhelmed with all the boxes. At this point, when you hit submit, the employee gets an email of everything they need to do, and they have a very similar process just to walk through online. As they complete their sections, so they complete the harassment policy, they complete the drug screening, they complete the risk management questionnaire, these will start turning into green checkbox. Then you can go ahead, these blank spots will turn to green, and then you can go back for any verifications if needed and complete them. Now, for task review, this is more detailed, and there's a lot of custom things that may be in here. So if you had a non-compete, that's something that not every client uses. So you'd have a non-compete in this section, and we'd make sure that that is complete for you during the process. So the task review and the document review sections, there's a lot of overlap between them, so don't let that scare you. If you have any questions, you can always call in, ask, talk to your payroll processor. But overall, it's a very simple and painless process. So from this point, once all that is done, if you need to onboard another employee, you just go to Employee, Onboarding, Add New Employee. Or if you're completed and you're done for the day, then scroll down, click Log Out for security as always, and you're done. Congratulations. Again, this is TEL Staffing and HR. If you have any questions, you can call us at 800-476-9008. Again, actually, I made a mistake. It's 866-476-9008. And you can check the number right here on our website if you have any questions. So I apologize for that mistake. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.